Welcome to Pretty Tales, the home of stories that grip your heart and leave you thinking. From love and betrayal to secrets that could change everything, every tale here is real, raw, and unforgettable. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell so you never miss a story. My name is Daniel. For years, I worked at a bank, believing that as long as I had a steady job, I could provide for my family. But today, everything changed. When the letter arrived, I felt a weight on my chest I had never known before. I had been finally laid off. My heart raced, shame and fear twisting together. I couldn't bear the thought of my wife seeing me like this, weak, vulnerable, jobless. So I made a decision. I would carry on as if nothing had happened. I would leave the house in the morning dressed as if I were going to work, just like every other day. Hidden inside my bag were the clothes I would wear at the construction site, rough, dusty, unfamiliar to my hands, ready to transform me into someone who could earn a living without anyone knowing. I forced a smile as I spoke to her at breakfast, chatting about the usual things, the weather, the errands she might run, little things to cover the storm brewing inside me. She noticed I was quieter than usual, maybe a little distracted, but she didn't question it. How could she? How could anyone see the pride, the fear, and the desperation hidden behind a calm morning face? I left the house, bag slung over my shoulder, every step heavy with the weight of the secret I carried. Each movement was careful, measured. I could already feel the day ahead stretching before me, and not the office, not the life I had built, but something else entirely. A life of sweat, of labor, of survival, hidden behind the facade of normalcy. I glanced back once, almost expecting her to follow me, to ask questions. But she didn't. She went about her morning as usual, unaware that today marked the beginning of something neither of us could have anticipated. Neither of us knew how our silent secrets would begin to weave together, silently building tension under the roof we shared. Her name is Ada. For weeks now, I noticed subtle changes in her. She would leave the house quietly in the early mornings, her movements measured, almost secretive. At first, I thought she was simply busy with errands. But lately, there was something in her eyes, a spark of determination, a weight of purpose, that I couldn't place. I had my own secret to guard, and I sensed she had hers. I tried to ignore it, to focus on keeping my composure, hiding the reality of my layoff. Yet, every day, a quiet tension lingered in the air between us, unspoken, stretching longer with each passing hour. It wasn't until a few mornings later that I noticed a small hint. A bag she carried, heavy and slightly worn, swinging lightly by her side. I tried not to pay too much attention, but curiosity gnawed at me. She left before sunrise, and when she returned, she was tired in a different way than normal. Her clothes smelled faintly of earth and something fresh, like produce from the market. I asked her about her day, casually, trying to gauge her mood. She smiled, shrugging lightly. Just some errands, she said. But there was a hidden pride in her voice, a subtle energy that told me she had been doing more than errands. I couldn't yet see it, but I felt it, the quiet determination of someone carrying a hidden life of their own. Little did I know, she had found a way to take control of her own fears, just as I was trying to navigate mine. While I carried the shame of my unemployment silently, she had begun hawking tomatoes at Ring Road Market, working early mornings, hustling quietly to ensure that even if something went wrong in our lives, she could make a difference. I never saw her leave. I never saw her work. And yet, each evening, the house held a strange energy, a tension neither of us spoke aloud. Two people, hiding the truth from each other, unknowingly living double lives under the same roof. The morning air was heavy as I left the house, the weight of my secret pressing against my chest. I carried my bag tightly, knowing inside were the clothes that would transform me from the man my wife saw into someone entirely different, a laborer at a bricklayer site. My fingers trembled slightly as I reached the spot behind a nearby building to change. The banker's life I had left behind felt like a distant memory, replaced by the harsh reality of dusty hands and aching muscles I wasn't used to. The sun was already rising, casting long golden shadows across the unfinished walls and stacks of bricks. I put on the rough work clothes, feeling the fabric stiff against my skin. I flexed my hands, flexing muscles I had never truly used, and gritted my teeth. Pride gnawed at me, but fear gnawed harder. I was terrified of my wife finding out, terrified of the humiliation I would face if anyone knew, and terrified that I might fail entirely at this new life. Each movement felt unnatural at first, lifting bricks heavier than I had imagined, balancing mortar in a bucket, wiping sweat from my brow. The workers glanced at me curiously, noting my hesitation. I forced myself to work quickly, silently, avoiding their questions. Every strike of the hammer, every stack of bricks, reminded me of the life I had lost, and yet gave me a strange sense of control. At least I was doing something tangible. Meanwhile, back at home, Ada was already out, navigating her own secret life at the Ring Road Market. Neither of us could see the other's struggle. Yet the thought of her lingering in my mind made the labor feel heavier, my movement slower. What if she found out? What if she knew? My fear was mirrored by a strange pride. I was doing this for her too, even if she didn't know it. By mid-morning, sweat soaked my clothes, and my hands ached with blisters. But I kept going. Every brick laid, every piece of mortar spread, every silent step through the dust was a reminder we were both hiding, both protecting, both surviving under the same roof, each unaware of the other's silent battles. The market was alive long before the sun fully rose, colors bursting from every stall, voices shouting over one another, the smell of fresh produce thick in the air. I adjusted the strap of my worn bag, filled with bright red tomatoes, and took a deep breath. No one knew I was here, least of all Daniel. Every day, I told myself this was temporary, a way to protect our family without burdening him. But it wasn't just about money. It was about survival, pride, and proving to myself that I could still make a difference, even when the world seemed to be shifting beneath my feet. I arranged the tomatoes in neat little piles, their vibrant red almost glowing under the early morning sunlight. I balanced the tray on my head with practiced ease, feeling the weight settle like a challenge I had chosen to carry. Around me, other hawkers called out, bargaining with customers, laughing at minor jokes, hustling in their own ways. I forced myself to blend in, to appear ordinary, while inside, every nerve was on high alert. I couldn't stop thinking about Daniel. He was out there somewhere, carrying a burden I didn't yet understand. I wondered if he was noticing the little changes in me, sweat-stained clothes, tired arms, the small cuts on my fingers from handling the baskets. Probably not. Probably unaware that while he was guarding his secrets, I was guarding mine too. Each sale I made was a small victory, a whisper of control in a life that suddenly felt fragile. I smiled at a customer, pretending I was cheerful, hiding the tension in my chest. Every time a familiar passerby glanced my way, I froze slightly, afraid they might guess the truth. And through it all, I thought, maybe one day, Daniel and I would realize we had been walking parallel paths all along, both secretly fighting to protect each other, neither knowing the full story. By noon, my arms ached, my feet were sore, and the sun was relentless. Yet there was a strange satisfaction in the exhaustion. I was surviving, quietly, bravely. And maybe, just maybe, he was surviving too. The sun was hot against my back as I carried another stack of bricks, sweat dripping into my eyes. Every motion reminded me of what I had lost, but I couldn't stop. I had to keep moving, keep pretending, keep hiding. I glanced around the construction site, other workers chatting, laughing, none of them aware of the secret life I carried. And then, in a fleeting moment, my eyes caught something familiar in the distance, a figure moving quickly between market stalls, balancing a tray on her head. I froze. The way she walked, the determination in her posture, it was her. Ada. My wife. I blinked, convinced my mind was playing tricks on me. Could she be out here at this hour, at this market? She shouldn't be. She had errands, home chores, everything to do, yet here she was, carrying a tray of tomatoes with the same energy she carried through our home each day. My chest tightened. I quickly looked away, heart racing. I didn't want her to see me. If she did, she would know. She would know that I wasn't at work, that I had been lying to her every morning. Pride and fear collided inside me. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, Ada was also having a near miss. She spotted a tall figure walking past her stall, carrying a heavy bag and wearing dusty clothes. Something about the way he moved, it looked like him. She paused, heart hammering, and quickly ducked behind a stack of crates. She dared not follow. For a few minutes, our parallel worlds overlapped. Two people under the same sky, neither fully aware of the other's secret, both tense, both afraid, both carrying burdens they didn't want to reveal. By the time I resumed work, I couldn't shake the image of her, balancing that tray of tomatoes, working quietly, fiercely. And she, wherever she was hiding, couldn't shake the thought of me carrying bricks in the heat, my pride and shame hidden behind sweat and dust. The silent collision left a weight in the air. An invisible thread connecting our secrets, binding us in tension, unspoken and unresolved. It started as a small detail, a speck of red dust on my shoulder that didn't belong. When I got home that evening, I noticed her bag leaning by the door, heavier than usual, with faint traces of soil clinging to the bottom. My heart sank. A quiet voice in my mind whispered, "She's hiding something too." I watched her move around the house, casually, smiling at me as if nothing had happened. But I could see the tension in the way she carried herself. The slight fatigue in her step, the roughness in her hands. My mind raced. Could she be co-working somewhere? No, that was impossible. Yet, the evidence was there, subtle, undeniable. Later that night, curiosity got the better of me. I opened her bag when she stepped out briefly. Inside were small notes, a few coins, and a faint smell of fresh produce. Tomatoes. My chest tightened. She had been hawking tomatoes at Ring Road Market all this time, and I had no idea. And yet, the discovery was bittersweet. I was relieved, no scandal, no betrayal, but the truth stung. She had been hiding from me just as I had been hiding from her. Pride, fear, and love collided in my chest. I felt both admiration and guilt, admiration for her courage, guilt for my own deception. The next morning, I left for the bricklayer site, carrying my bag of dusty clothes as usual. But this time, I looked around differently. Every corner of the street, every passerby seemed alive with secrets I could no longer ignore. And then I imagined her among the market stalls, balancing her tray, each tomato a silent testament to her determination. For a brief moment, I realized we were both walking parallel paths under the same sky, bound by silence and pride. And for the first time, I understood, our love, fragile as it was, had survived the tension of hidden truths. But for how long? Daniel. After that silent moment in the market, I knew we could no longer live behind walls of secrecy. That night, I sat across from Ada at the dinner table, my hands trembling slightly. The bag with my bricklayer clothes lay hidden in the corner, yet it felt like it weighed a ton on my chest. I lost my job, I admitted softly, voice cracking. I've been going to a construction site, hiding it because I didn't know how to tell you. Her eyes widened, a mixture of shock and understanding passing through them. I held my breath, waiting for anger, for disappointment. But instead, she reached across the table and gently placed her hand over mine. Ada. I should have told you too, I whispered. I've been hawking tomatoes at Ring Road Market, secretly, to save a little, to help if things went wrong. I didn't want you to see me struggle. Daniel. We stared at each other, the silence thick, heavy, yet strangely comforting. Pride, fear, and relief collided in our hearts. For weeks, we had lived double lives, each trying to protect the other, and yet our love had been stretched to its limits. Ada. Why didn't we just trust each other? I asked softly, tears welling up. We both wanted the same thing, to survive, to protect each other. Daniel. I don't know, I admitted. Pride, fear. I thought I had to be strong for you. But maybe we only become strong when we are honest with each other. Ada. We laugh softly, the tension slowly lifting, replaced by warmth. Our secrets were revealed, and the weight of them began to ease. We realized that love is not about hiding struggles, it's about facing them together. Daniel. That night, we promised each other honesty. No more hidden lives. No more silent battles. Just us, together, carrying our burden side by side, stronger than before. As I sat beside Ada that night, the weight of our secrets lifted. I couldn't help but think about how fragile life really is. We had both been hiding our struggles, believing it was the right way to protect each other. But in truth, our silence had almost driven a wedge between us. I realized something important: love isn't about perfection. Love isn't about pretending everything is okay. Love is about honesty, about trust, about letting your partner see not just your strength but your vulnerability. Ada's eyes met mine, soft and steady. We both tried to protect each other, she said, but maybe the real protection comes from being honest, even when it's hard. She was right. Pride, fear, and embarrassment had kept us apart in our own home. We were both doing our best, but in separate worlds, unaware that the other was fighting the same battles. That night, I made a promise. Not just to her, but to myself. No more hiding. No more silent struggles. No more walking parallel paths when we should be walking together. If we face life's challenges side by side, we can survive anything. And as I reflected, I knew this story wasn't just ours. So many people hide their struggles from the ones they love, believing it's the best way to protect them. But sometimes, the greatest act of love is simply being honest. Because secrets don't just protect, they can also separate. And the real courage is showing your heart, flaws and all, to the one who matters most. As we stood together that night, the weight of our secrets finally lifted. I realized something simple but profound: life is too short to hide the truth from the ones you love. Every struggle, every fear, every hidden battle we carried had been an unspoken test, not of our love, but of our courage. And now, having faced it together, I understand that honesty is not weakness. Vulnerability is not shame. Love grows stronger when we allow ourselves to be seen, flaws and all. To everyone watching, I want you to remember this: don't let pride or fear stop you from sharing your heart with those who matter. Sometimes the hardest truths bring the deepest connection. If this story resonated with you, there's more to come. Make sure to subscribe to Pretty Tales, press the notification bell, and give this video a like to support more real, emotional stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know, how far would you go to protect someone you love? Our journey isn't over, and neither is yours. Life is full of secrets, struggles, and challenges, but when love and honesty guide you, you can survive anything. Remember this. Sometimes, the hardest secrets aren't lies, they're love disguised as fear.
Thank you for watching this story. If it moved you, give it a like, comment your thoughts, and press the notification bell, and every secret has a lesson.